Between Ralphie and Roy and many other people on the internet that talk about whiskey and other spirits going absolutely nuts for this distillery, I thought it was only time that I actually covered it on this channel as well. So today I'm going to be looking at a little bottle of Arran 10 because, again, I've got so much booze behind me it's frightening, so miniatures are kind of the way to go forward for the time being. Arran Distillery, what do we know about them? They were opened in 1995. They were supposed to be open before that, but in 94 there was a couple of golden eagles nesting in the cliff tops near the distillery. Because they're a protected species, they had to halt construction and they weren't able to open until the following year. And you can actually see well, you can't see it from there, obviously, so I'll need to do a zoom in, but the logo is made up of a couple of golden eagles, which is now part of their branding. They're often called the oldest new distillery kicking around. They celebrated their 21st anniversary in 2016, and until 2010, the distillery is actually operating at a loss. These guys now have two distilleries, so they have this one, which is officially known as the Lochranza Distillery now, though most people still call it Arran, and there's the Lag Distillery, which is based off of the oldest legitimate distillery on the island, because there used to be loads of distilleries on the island, but most of them were for like moonshine and stuff, and they weren't legitimate operations, Lag being one of the exceptions to that rule. I think I've covered most of that. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a fun history that I just kind of quickly looked up. The internet's a wonderful thing. Also, today is Wikipedia's 20th birthday, so gives you some idea when this was recorded, I suppose. I've had this in the glass for about 10 bit more minutes now, to give it a chance to air. Because it is one of the problems of having miniatures as well. Obviously, you don't get the benefit of them oxidizing all the time. I tend to go more for blind pours. I'll pop the cork and then kind of see what the first few drags are like. With an exception being if I open it and I'm like, oh no, this needs some air. Kilkerman, the Amburak, that was a notable example of that one. That needed a bit of help. But I don't know what's in store for the Arran. Now, I've not heard a single negative thing about this distillery. I've heard nothing but gushing praise. They fairly recently did a redesign. I quite like it. I'm just going to put it out there now. They've had a couple of designs. The most recent one, I've had it called craft paper. I've had it called boring. I like it. I think it's simple. I think it's, you know, it states its mission without going too far down the kind of like, wee, look at us kind of. It's not over the top, and I like that. So without further ado, let's actually try some whiskey. Let's do that. Let's whiskey it up. I'm getting like caramel and pine needles on the opening meeting of the nose. Those are some words. It was not a sentence, however. It's quite like fudgy. Something a little bit floral about it as well. I'm not getting anything particularly coastal about it. There's no peat or anything either. It's very different from the Barrel Reserve, which we've tried already. But there are still some sort of botanical notes to it. A little bit like sage as well. Something a little herbal on the nose. Oh yeah, that's quite tremendous actually. It's like a light acacia honey kind of a flavour to it. Gives way to sort of like a candied violets, like toasted cornflake kind of a flavour as well. There's vanilla, there's salted caramel, a little bit like butterscotch. If anyone's ever tried smoked sea salt as well, there's like a touch of that in there. There's a wonderful like sweet savoury balance going on as well. I'm getting like a little bit of like a dried thyme kind of a flavour, not fresh thyme, dried thyme. I'm gonna pop in a little bit of water, not too much because I don't think it really needs it. I should say as well, this is presented at 46%, non-chill filtered, natural colour. Arran have always tried to do things a little bit differently. It's probably why they made a loss for as long as they did, because up until relatively recently, people haven't taken those kind of things very seriously with their whiskies. But obviously, we're kind of in the middle. We're in the middle of the good times at the minute, of which they will not last. But whilst they do, the nose becomes way more buttery. Yeah, it's much more butterscotchy on the nose now. Slightly like burnt caramel as well. Plenty of the herbal components are still coming through. So it again gives it that kind of sweet, savoury balance. And a fair bit of vanilla as well, so I think more of the cask influence is coming in now that it has opened up. As with a lot of these whiskies, the water has absolutely helped. There's more floral components coming through now. There's more kind of like a rose, begonia kind of a thing coming in. It's a little bit custardy. There's like a wonderful, luxurious vanilla flavour. It's a little bit caramelly. It's oaky without being over the top as well. It's got like an element of oak without being kind of like too rich. Loads of vanilla. Plenty of vanilla. But I won't go so far as to say it's sweet. It's more kind of like the aroma of vanilla without kind of the associated kind of like sugary, almost pound cakiness that you get from some other particular like bourbon-rich whiskies. And then you've got like sage, wintergreen, a little bit of thyme, even a little bit of basil as well, like a bit of a freshness. There's lots of herbal components coming through on this again. Finish is a little bit chocolatey, just to make it that bit more bizarre. But I dig it. It's got loads going on. It's full of flavour. And you can tell it's just a very well-made product. How many eagles out of 5? Oh, actually, no, I don't do out of 5s for whiskey, do I? My scores will be down below. I nearly slipped there. Get myself mixed up between my scoring systems. You'd think I'd know. Yeah, scores will be down below. But let me know, have you tried the Arrans, any of the Arrans, not just the 10-year-old? Have you had a go with the 21-year-old? Have you tried some of their wine cask finishes? I've given their Sauterne a go, and I gave the Amarone a go. Both fantastic finishes. I really enjoyed them. At some point, I want to have a crack on with the port finish as well, because I quite like port finish whiskies. For now though, thumb this video if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing if you like what you see, and do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.